All right, guys. Good morning. We are here. It is Monday morning. Honestly, today's kind of boring, but this whole week is crazy. Starting tomorrow, really. So tomorrow we have big earnings. We've got just a lot of stuff happening this week, to be honest. Here. So let's get started here. So we got Tesla up to 270s right now. Tesla moving up really nice. The Q, let me see what the Nasdaq's at. Also, before we get started, always remember, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Nvidia sitting right at 143s. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so I think that's probably the smoothest. Let's see if we can stretch this out here. Yeah. All right. And then we'll come down here. Let me get some music playing here as well. Do you guys think we're gonna do a poll? Do you guys think the market is gonna have a red or green week this week? We got a lot of stuff. We got like every economic report outside of like CPI, really, like every major economic report. We got starting tomorrow. We have the JOLTS job openings report. We have again, starting tomorrow, we got the JOLTS job opening report. We got CB consumer confidence data. We got the Case-Shiller house price index all tomorrow. Following that, we have SoFi earnings also in the morning. Not following that. So before all that, we have SoFi earnings, PayPal earnings, McDonald's earnings tomorrow. Tomorrow evening is when the big earnings start to drop with AMD, Google, Snapchat, Chipotle, Visa, Reddit, EA. Wednesday morning, we have a bunch of economic reports as well. Specifically, we have the prelim payroll data. We've got GDP data. It's expected at 3%. So GDP's dropping Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning. It's expected at 3%. Following that GDP data and the prelim payroll data, we also have Eli Lilly Caterpillar earnings in the morning. But Wednesday afternoon, we have Microsoft, Meta, Coinbase, Robinhood, Etsy, Roku, Riot, Starbucks, DoorDash, and more. Thursday, we have the PCE report. So Thursday, we have the personal consumption expenditure. The core PCE is always the biggest, most relevant one. It is expected at 0.3%. We also have jobless claims on Thursday. So we got PCE data, jobless claims on Thursday. What else do we have? We got a bunch of other stuff like European CEI. But Thursday evening, we have Amazon, Apple, Intel, and more. So just a really, really busy. And then Friday, we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment, and Chevron and Exxon earnings. So just a really, really busy week, honestly. We're going to be working all week. And that's good, you know. We'll see if we get anything good. What's up, Pawn? Nathan? Yeah, we're going to cover all the big earnings. Am I low? I shouldn't be too low. I don't know. Let me know if I'm louder now or now. Am I louder now? So I have a volume thing on my mic. I don't know which one. I don't know which direction it goes. I'm assuming it's normal. But yeah, let me know if the sound changed at all just now when I spoke. All right, Nvidia pushing up almost up to 140. Yeah, right over 143s. Now it's better. Okay, good. I still have my XF, my funded account. Here it is right here. See? But earlier in pre-market, we're just playing with some challenge accounts. We're pretty close on all of these, so we should get funded in at least one today, I would say. So yeah, we've positioned all three of these accounts exactly at $1,500 in profit. So we should get funded in at least a couple. Like, look, so we have positioned each of these. And Top Step will give you a little bit of leeway, but look, 1,457, 1,494, 1,457.40. So we position these really, really well, like right at that level. So if we make $1,500 into, if we can do that today, we'll get funded, and that's what we're trying to do, is get at least one more funded account. I mean, you can make trades before earnings, but Now it's better. Yeah, no, it's probably just when I turn my head. I can put it down. I can also change the sound, like the way the sound picks it up. Let me see what the different settings are. Right now it's on the big circle. Let me see if that helps. Let's see. So right now it is on. Right now it's on omnidirectional, so it should be good, like regardless of which way I turn my head. Omnidirectional picks up sound equally from all around the mic. It's best. Yeah, so they say this will be the best option. And let me know. Like, we could always experiment with this mic. Okay. So in theory, this setting on the mic said it would be the best for everything. This one is cardioid mode, which says it's best suiting for game streaming, Skype calls, podcasting, instruments, and more. So let me know if this sounds better. Yeah, where's oil at? Is oil? Yeah, look at Tesla. Tesla up to 270s this morning, chat. Honestly, genuinely crazy for Tesla. 270s right now. That's a crazy move, honestly. It's genuinely crazy. Let's get rid of this Tom and Sales. I don't really want this here. Yeah, get rid of that. Sounds good. You said I sound like a chipmunk? Well, I'll be alright. Yeah, it says this is best for streaming, so we'll see if it is. I don't freaking know. Sound good? Alright, well, it's good enough right now. Okay, good. Yeah, so this apparently is better. I don't know. Pawn's saying it sounds better too, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm looking at oil. NVIDIA up to 143s. Oil is /CL, if you want to know the symbol. Yeah, what happened to oil, man? Why is oil down so much? Usually oil will go down like this if they stabilize something. Why is oil down so much today? Does anybody know? Yeah, Ford has earnings this evening. Alright, so we're gonna see if AI can answer this. Alright, so let's see how good AI is. I said, why is oil down so much today? Please make sure the news is only for today or the last 2 days. Historically, you have been very inaccurate and given me old news and stuff that is not relevant. Today is October 28th, 2024, Monday. News could have been over the weekend. Oil prices are experiencing notable. Y'all tell me if this is right. Okay, it says oil prices experiencing notable declines today, impacted by a few key developments. Firstly, disappointing economic signals from China are a big factor. Although China announced potential economic support measures, details have been sparse, dampening investor confidence and a strong rebound in demand. This has affected oil prices as markets hope for clearer policies to stimulate economic growth, which is essential for energy demand in China, the world's largest oil importer. Additionally, geopolitical factors are also playing a role, where there have been tensions involving some of the Middle Eastern countries. The risk to oil supply remains uncertain, with Operations reportedly focused on military stuff rather than energy infrastructure. It lowered the this lowered the immediate geopolitical premium on oil prices as the market reprices the risks involved. Basically, less demand for oil because of stuff. Lastly, OPEC projections of weaker global demand for growth into the next year is added into the bearish sentiment. Combined, these factors are creating downward pressures as investors adjust their position in response to these broader supply and demand expectations. Is that correct? Yeah, I'm having a detail more into this. It did say this was one contributing factor, so over the weekend it says their economic stimulus plan were anticipated to boost markets, yet details were sparse, leading to lower confidence and a rebound of demand for oil, is what they're saying it was. Well, yeah, I mean, um, well, no, it gave that. So, Sam, it did answer that way. So, it basically said that oil, it said that Middle Eastern stuff was true. So, it gave me that answer. But it also said stimulus overseas. Yeah, so that's actually true. So it says overseas stimulus aims to boost consumption, top officials say. So they said it's expected to boost precious metal demand. But they said they were lacking in details. And so in turn that caused pessimism in oil. So yeah. That sip of water. It's not water, it's coffee. You know. No, well, we changed the setting on this mic. So we changed the setting. Yeah, and I think sometimes like my normal voice is like what you hear now. If I get excited about something or if I'm saying something very quickly, I start to hold my breath. And so that makes my my voice go up a little bit, you know. But if I speak slowly like I normally do, this is how my voice sounds. If I'm talking quickly and I start to talk like this, it's because I'm holding my voice. It's because I'm holding my breath a little bit when I'm speaking. I speak very quickly, sometimes too quickly, and yeah, it might influence how I sound. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not betting on any election stocks, Martin. No way, man. I'm good. Honestly, dude, my son did jujitsu yesterday. And again, like we have one of our black belt coaches at my gym. I'm not going to tell you. We've been doing private lessons with my son. Every week we've been doing them, you know, and he's been bringing in other kids that are like my son's age to come and like spar with my son. And bro, yesterday my son was training and dude, he did so good. Like I was so impressed with him. He would sweep these kids and mount them and like do all kind of crazy stuff that looked really high level. It's stuff that I've never even taught my son. Like I've taught my son to sprawl if somebody tries to like single leg take down, like grab your leg and take you down. I've taught him to sprawl. I've taught him to grab and like sprawl and throw his legs back and all that stuff. And then I've told him the transition to take their back and, you know, some other basic stuff. But I didn't teach him any of the stuff that he did. And so the coach thinks he's got potential. I'm going to keep training my son to be good. And my son actually enjoyed it too. I think probably because he's winning. But I'm so proud of him. He did so good, you know. I don't drink any. My coffee's plain. I don't put any sugar or anything. Coffee's actually pretty good for you if you don't pack it with sugar, you know. Yeah, this new Discord noise is just weird. Yeah, so oil prices down after there were airstrikes overseas. Hmm. And yeah, we got a new setting on the microphone. Yeah, so earnings coming out for SoFi. Look at Palantir too. Palantir has gone crazy. Look at this. So Palantir up to 45.30s. So Palantir is still very, very strong stock. Look at this big gap up for Palantir this morning. How do I get these circles to go away? Why do I have circles on my chart? Oh, I guess I just clicked the wrong thing or something. Yeah, I don't know what the circles were. But Palantir, very strong. Very strong. SoFi has earnings tomorrow, too. If we put up SoFi here. Yeah, SoFi at $11. Very strong movement for the last few days. Look at SoFi. Impressive. We'll see if it continues. Oil ran crazy. Yeah, Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat has earnings as well. I believe Snapchat earnings are Tuesday. So Snap earnings Tuesday. We also have Google earnings Tuesday. I think we have AMD earnings Tuesday. Let me see. So yeah, we have... Today we have Ford earnings. That's kind of the biggest one. We had a couple small earnings plays this morning, but tomorrow we have SoFi, PayPal, McDonald's, Pfizer, BP, a couple other ones in the morning. In the evening we have AMD, Google, Snapchat, Chipotle, Visa, First Solar, Reddit, EA, Chubb, and a couple other companies. But those are the big ones: AMD, Google, Snapchat. Yeah, we had On Semi ON before market opens. Not really a company I'm super familiar with, but they are semiconductor related. And I think they just dropped their earnings too. So On Semi. I don't know if they're out yet. I see some volatility in after hour or in pre-market. Yeah, so On Semi did drop. They posted 99-cent EPS, beat 97 estimate. Sales of 1.762 beat the 1.751 estimate. So slight beats on both fronts. And you can kind of see that here. So again, slight beats on both fronts. There it is right there. Look at this big breakdown in the NASDAQ. So this is NQZ4. This is the NASDAQ 100. It's basically the QQQ is what this is. It looks weak, honestly. And yeah, look at that breakdown. So it looked weak. We'll see if it continues down. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so look at that breakdown. It did look weak. We were breaking under a lot of support levels. Look how strong that is. Big drop. We will buy this up. I'm going to buy one contract here. Take a little contrarian trade. There's 35s. We'll add to this too. All right, we locked in the profit of $40. Beautiful. I just made a little $100 really quickly here. You know, once we have all this red action, just very short term, it's probable that we're going to rebound back up, at least a small amount. We might continue down afterwards, but I think once we have all these big red candles here, big candle, you know, it just seems probable that we're going to bounce back a little bit as a balanced move. And so that's why we took that trade. It worked. So, hey, what's up, Tiny? Good morning. Happy Monday. And look, there's the continuation move. Part of me thinks it's going to rebound back up to here. I don't know if I'm confident enough to take it, but I do think it's going to bounce back some here. I might be wrong. Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. And this is why. Well, it's all based off of confidence, so wasn't confident enough to take it, but depends on where the momentum is. Guess I was wrong here. Yeah, for sure wrong. which is why you don't copy me. Tesla, man. Shocking move for Tesla. Yeah, I have no idea, gamer. No idea. And again, I kind of avoid geopolitical stuff. Like, people tend to just, like, for whatever reason, I don't know if they're trying to get me to talk about it, but I really don't talk about politics. I don't talk about anything controversial in that way. We keep it very, there's too much nuance in terms of, and there's too much, nuance maybe isn't the best. I mean, there's a lot of nuance, right? Maybe I'm overusing the word nuance. There's too much controversy regarding all of it, and so I just avoid those conversations. It's not worth it to me. Pull up politics as well. Like, I'm just avoiding, those conversations. No need to really talk about it. Y'all can ask me questions. I'm just not going to answer them most of the time regarding politics or what I think about politics or anything like that. I'm just going to avoid it. A lot of big drops. I'm gonna buy this now. Let's see if we rebound at least a little bit. We already made $100 this morning. Slow, steady. We didn't. We took profit here. Let me see what I'm up on this account right now. Yeah, we're up about $100, so that's good. Yeah, that's nice. We'll see if we can keep grinding it up. Ford earnings are this evening at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I mean, on the NASDAQ, it's not like a ridiculously large pullback or anything. Here's the QQQ. Like, we're breaking down a little bit, but we're already gapping up some, and the NASDAQ and everything is up very close. Like, the Q's almost up to $500, which is kind of crazy. We broke over that for a little while on Friday, but this weakness is clear now on the Q. I just don't think it's going to, like, I think eventually we're going to start bouncing back some. We might continue down, but what I'm really trying to play is a bounce back. And I think it is an election week. And so the only thing I'll say about the election is that I'm going to try to swing into the profit we have. The only thing I'll say about the election is that, sometimes we get bullish action leading up to it. We got 2 contracts. There we go. Boom. Ah, what a terrible fill, dude. I was up $70 on this trade. It ended up making me lose 30. It's all right. Not really happy about it, but that's okay. There we go. All right, so we made money here, but not as much as we could have if we had just gotten a good fill. We were correct about the bounce, but it's all right. No, probably not, Sam. I mean, I'm in Texas anyway, and so regardless of which way, if I did, it wouldn't matter, no matter what. And again, I'm very neutral on all of it, like genuinely neutral. So it's not like I'm just pretending to be neutral because I'm on, online. Like, I'm genuinely neutral. I just try to avoid it. I see too many people getting so upset and like emotional and like. They're dedicating huge chunks of their lives to it. And I think when you get to the top, it's all the same anyway. And so I just kind of avoid the whole realm of it if I can. All right, so we just bought this. See if we get a little pop up. There we go. Another $80. Caught that move. So we're getting pretty close here. Nick Saban. Honestly, don't even talk about college football with me today, man. LSU lost to A&M. And I'm in Texas, too, so it's the worst thing when LSU loses to A&M and I live in Texas. You don't love to see it. Yeah, I mean, whoever you want to vote for, I'm not against you or for you. I'm just kind of neutral, guys. Yeah, we talked about oil. Oil. Yeah, I stopped watching the Saints. They're just not good. They're just not good this year. They're back to the ain'ts. Yeah, it's all right, Jordan. All right, so we did get a little bounce back at the Q. Tesla is still sitting at 270s. We'll see if that holds. We got the high up here. I don't know if it's right around 272s for Tesla. Man, Tesla just crazy after earnings. Why isn't oil? Well, there's some type of supply and demand issue going on with oil overseas that's causing it to drop. If you look at oil, it's /CL. Like I could put it up on Top Step X here. Here's oil. Here's crude. You put a long-term chart up, you'll see the drops. It mostly happened early this morning. So most of the drops happened early this morning and early on the 27th. So yesterday morning. Huge gap down yesterday morning. So, but yeah, oil's down a lot. I haven't really traded oil a ton, but bear market next year? Yeah, I mean, Nathan, I don't know. I don't think it's really super predictable either. I think it's possible with the extension that we have now that we do bear trend next year. I think it's possible. I'm not saying, I don't think it's super predictable though. Like a key thing when I'm predicting longer term stuff, like I've predicted CPI correct every month except for maybe 1 month. I think I've had like 5 out of 6 of the last CPI reports. I've gotten them exactly right. The way I've been able to do that is by using balance, right? Like the big thing I use is balance. So looking at that same balance like condition for prediction, when I look at next year, we could downward trend next year just because of balance, right? Like we've gone up for huge 2 years in a row. I think we're always going to have to balance it back out a little bit long term, right? We're not going to continue to put in 20-30% a year every year. It's just not going to be feasible for markets, and especially the stock market. And so I do think it's possible we get downward trends next year. But it's never a certainty. And, we could, there's a couple ways we could correct. We could crash on the downside and really correct fast, or we could kind of just bear trend for a year or two and then come back. Either one is possible. What I will say is that I do generally think that crashes and bear markets are over predicted. I think everybody wants to predict one. I think you got a bunch of YouTubers that have been predicting bear markets for years and they've been wrong. And you better believe when we finally do bear trend, they're gonna act like they were right the whole time, even though obviously they weren't. Eventually, we're always gonna bear trend. We're always gonna crash. Right, but if you predict one 3 years ago and we do it today, you're still wrong, and I think that's the big thing looking into it. But I do think it's possible, just in terms of balance, that we downtrend in markets. But it's certainly not a certainty. So yeah. Next FOMC meeting. Yeah, so the next FOMC meeting it's on the 7th, so it is in a week and a half. It's on so it's on the 7th. I think it's in a week and a half. Is it on the 7th? Let me see. Hold on. I gotta look this up now. Yeah, so it's on Thursday, November 7th. Yep. So that'll be a busy week too. So next week we got the FOMC meeting. Do we have any big earnings next week? I know we got a ton this week, right? But next week's what I'm curious about. We got Berkshire in the morning. We got Palantir. That's going to be a crazy one. We're going to cover that for sure. Tuesday. No, nothing really. We got the rate decision, which is big. Wednesday. CVS. Supermicro Semiconductors, we got it on Wednesday, November 6th. We'll probably cover that. I think Supermicro has been crazy enough. We're going to cover it for sure. ARM is also AMC. Okay, so we got all 3 big boy earnings. Yeah, that'll be fun. Thursday, we got the rate decision too. Nothing big enough to really cover Thursday. But yeah, so we got some stuff. Economics day-wise, it's a little slower, but that's all right. And then we got CPI the week after that. So next week, we've got the rate decision, a couple big earnings like AMC and stuff. And then the week after that, we got CPI inflation data too. Nvidia new all-time highs today, maybe. Yeah, no, it's going to be a crazy couple week period. Maybe not QE coming eventually. You think we're going to do more QE here? Why? Why would we need QE right now? Genuine question. Do you think we need quantitative easing right now in the United States? I certainly don't. You need QE if the economy is super weak, and regardless of like what people want to be the truth. Where if if you want the other side who doesn't have power now to get elected, you might want things to be super weak economics wise to argue that point. But the problem is that one of the reasons we had such big inflation spikes over the last few years was because of the QE that we did after 2020. We did QE, QE is quantitative easing. It's a form of money printing in which the Federal Reserve creates. They basically create online bank reserves, and they use those bank reserves to buy up financial assets like bonds and stuff like that. So that's called quantitative easing. It's a form of money printing. One of the reasons inflation spiked up to 10% after 2021 is because the Fed stepped in and tried to save us from like a much weaker economy in 2020. And so they did quantitative easing. They sent out stimulus checks. All of those things contributed to higher inflation problems. But you only should do those things if you have genuine economic weakness. Without genuine economic weakness, it's basically pumping inflation higher without the need to, and so you should only do that, which is a more desperate sign. Like quantitative easing is a more desperate thing. Like the Federal Reserve can always lower interest rates, right? But if they start to do QE, that's a more desperate sign. And so that's the thing to understand about it. But I just don't think we need it. I don't think the economy looks weak right now. Inflation's bad, right? But that's an argument against QE, not for it. All right, so we're going to buy up this dip down here again. We got one contract. See if we can bounce a little bit more. All right, we're flat. Let's try to go green. We added 2 contracts here. Oh, this is oil. Oh no. I didn't even realize this was oil. Yeah, I didn't really mean to buy this at all. I wanted to buy the NASDAQ. I'll see how oil goes. I've never really traded oil. I thought this was the NASDAQ. That's alright. Luckily, though, it doesn't move very much. I mean, it moves a lot, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the price per tick movement. It's not that super high. There we go. All right, so we ended up making a little bit of money on the trade. I'm going to switch back to the NASDAQ here. Next week, FOMC Power cutting 25 basis points or not. Yeah, so Powell's definitely going to be cutting, I think. I don't know. It's never a certainty, I guess. But I think it's pretty probable he's going to be cutting rates. At this point in time, the odds have pivoted all the way to a 97%. Likelihood at 3.1%. Yeah, I mean, so the problem, like, look, I'm gonna just go ahead and ban you. The problem is this guy is just emotional, probably about what I said about politics, right? Like this is how biased people are regarding politics. When you look back at the history of my stream, all right, so this guy says I'm not being helpful, I just make money or whatever. Number one, I'm honest about making money. Number two is if you look back at if I've been right about what the economy and the market has done. Right, I've been right about every single FOMC decision over the last year, which is not even really much to talk about, right? But people get so biased that they predict these outlandish things that are just never going to happen. I've gotten every CPI report right except for one out of the last 6 in my predictions of CPI. I've been correct about what the market has done. Everybody was telling you the market was going to crash 2 years ago. Everybody was telling you the market was going to crash. It was going to be the end of the world. They were making fun of me, telling me I was a beginner. I didn't know what I was talking about. Right, and then the market ended up doing 24% last year, and then this year it's up like 20%. But then when it comes time to be like, hey, John was right, crickets. In the end, people just get emotional. Like this guy right here, he just gets emotional. It's okay. Listen, and I get it. Me telling you I'm neutral politically, and that there's a lot of bias floating around. The truth might hurt a little bit for you, right? Because nobody likes to hear. They might be just a little emotional and biased about politics. But in the end, when you look back at whether I've been correct, I've absolutely been right about what the stock market has done and about what the economy has done, what the rate decisions have been, all that stuff. Like, I've been absolutely right about it. But again, like, this is what politics does to people. It makes them so emotional about it. Like, it makes them to a point where if you say anything that might slightly disagree with their, super political biased, opinionated part, then they get weird. And that's all right. Cheers to you. Top 3 crystal balls in the world right now? Hey, definitely top 3. But no, listen, guys. People tune in. You know why they tune into my channel? People tune into my channel because I cover economics data quickly. So if you want to know what CPI is going to show up as, you can watch my stream and you're going to get it very quickly, faster than almost anybody else. I'm going to reliably do it so that I'm going to actually be reliable for it. So if you really want to watch it, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to stream FOMC meetings. I'm going to stream big earnings reports. And so it's like a one-stop shop where you can get all of that stuff, digest all of that data for free without me charging you anything for it. And so, he'll be okay. Yeah, it's almost 8:30. We'll see. I'm sure she'll text me eventually. I don't think Mondays are the days where she messages me at 8:30 though. They usually sleep in. The whole family sleeps in early on Monday or later on Monday. So that's why you don't hear. You might not hear it today. And what I will say is what I will say is that if politics gets you that upset, where somebody that even might slightly, the nature of humans, we're always going to disagree about dumb stuff, chat. Humans disagree with each other. It's part of what makes us human, I don't have to agree with everything you say for you to want to tune in and watch the channel, And really, he says I make my money. I haven't even plugged anything today, right? I've done no plugs. I've been streaming for an hour. And so, we're definitely here to make money. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. But that's not a reasonable expectation. Do this for free without making money? Of course not. But yeah. Which stocks would rise? Listen, guys. Yeah, this song is listen, it's okay. Tune in to beginner trading. It sounds like my Sunday mornings as a kid. Just humans are going to disagree. You don't want to be so emotionally attached to politics. This is what it really is. And I'm neutral. You don't want to be so emotionally attached to politics where if I say, hey, there's a lot of political bias floating around in markets, this is something that is just objectively true, right? Obviously, there's a lot of political bias on both sides, to be fair, But yeah, you don't want to be so biased around it that me saying a truthful thing like that gets you upset. And it is what it is. Yeah, chicken soup for the day. Hey, thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it. And I'm okay if you disagree, I think a lot of people here disagree regularly with me. and y'all are still around. It's not like I ban you guys for disagreeing. The only way I'll disagree is if like it's antagonistic or if you're disrespectful. Those two things will get you banned. But outside of that, y'all can disagree. You know. Yeah, or if you spam gold, yeah, you'll get booted out of here quick. But that should be understandable too. This is why I'm ready for the election to just be over, to be honest, regardless of anything else. I'm just ready because people get so weird. I disagree that we should disagree. I disagree with you disagreeing that we should disagree. Yeah, the gold people disappeared, which is I'm okay with. Gold, speaking of gold, let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, I've said this once, I'll say it again. In the end, I give away free data. I don't charge for any content. There's no paywalls behind my content. I don't even claim to be a good trader. I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service, you know. Everything I do is free, completely free. And I don't even claim to be a good trader while I do it. And so if you're still mad at me for something, you know, let it out. It's okay. It's something deep within yourself that you're unhappy with, and that's all right. In the end, I'm the top 3 free. Have no idea what I'm talking about traders in the world right now. Bitcoin, where is Bitcoin at? I know Bitcoin almost got up to 70K. And it is almost at 70K. Wow, so it's up to 69,500. Very, very close. Very, very close. It's been at this wall for a few days, though, over the weekend. Here's Bitcoin. Let me put Bitcoin up right here. I just put Bitcoin futures up just because it's easier. But yeah, look, we're up to 69,500 for Bitcoin. If we go a longer term chart. Yeah, like here's this big wall. 75K is the top. We got this level here at just over 70K. So honestly, Bitcoin, since the ETF showed up, I've talked about this before, but if you look at how obvious the trend is, since these ETFs showed up, we have been in one of the most obvious trends for Bitcoin ever. Like this is literal, like prior to this latest run especially, like prior to this trend, super obvious. We finally broke out of it though, and so that's the question now is do we break out of it? And if we come back down here, like what we're really just doing in this instance, if we come back down here, is we're forming like a even more like expanding trend. But sometimes people want your life to be you. 100%, yeah. The biggest haters are usually ones who have tried to do something like on YouTube or build a social media business and failed at it. And they, for whatever reason, like hyper focus on me and make and act like I'm responsible for their failure, which of course I'm not. Like, but you know, I try to take it as a flattering thing. When you look this good, you know, people are gonna hate on you. That's normal. It needs to get past that resistance level. Yeah, I mean, it's been in the sideways trend for a minute here. Like, look at this. But I liked this trend better. I actually liked it prior to this. It's been going, like, look. It was in that trend for a long time. It finally broke out of it. But this trend was one of the most obvious trends to profit from. You buy the dip. Super easy. Averaging in space. But sort of pop out now. Hey, what's up, Relentless, my guy? What's up, dude? How's that twin turbo V8? It's nice, man. It's fun. You know, it sounds so good, bro. You ever heard of twin turbo V8? It just sounds so good. I'm not gonna say what kind of car it is because I'd rather not. But yeah, that's my favorite thing about it. Is the way it sounds. Like I can rev it up and it'll, you know. I've gotten used to it though. Do you think Tesla can run here? I think Tesla's already ran. So I think Tesla's already up a lot. When you look at Tesla, put NVIDIA back up here. When you look at Tesla, Tesla's up a lot. The Robotaxi event dumped it, and then the earnings event ripped it. So it ripped up after earnings. It's one of the reasons the market's been pushing up some is because of Tesla. Like Tesla going all the way up to the 270s is a big move. It's a relatively heavy weighted stock. It's in the Mag 7. What weight is? I'm trying to see what weight Tesla is. I'm trying to think of the order. All right, so in the NASDAQ 100, it takes up about 2.3% of the NASDAQ 100. It generally falls within the top 5. So I think it goes I think it goes Apple. I think it goes Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, Tesla. I think. I might be wrong there, but I think that's right around where Tesla falls in the NASDAQ 100. I have to look it up. Yeah, I wish I had that one. I don't even know how to pronounce that one, Sam, but I wish I did. John, in 10 years from now, do you see Tesla being like a $2,000 stock with all the robots, AI? I think it could be. I think it could be. I don't know for sure. Yeah, for sure, Relentless. You know. Yeah, you know. No. I think it could be. I think there's a lot of variance that could happen in the next 10, 20 years, but I think it could be. I think if it stays positioned where it's at now, in the FSD race, where I truly believe that in the future, FSD, full self-driving automotive vehicles are the future of driving in automotive technology. I think that's obvious. Now the real question is how long it takes for that to happen. Like the big thing is infrastructure. Like how long does that take to build? Is it ready now? If it's not ready now, when is it ready? I think eventually it's an inevitability. I think it's gonna happen. It might happen in 20 years, it might happen in 5. But I think eventually you're gonna see a big percentage of the cars driving that don't have drivers. And I think if Tesla is smart and they position themselves correctly and they don't get too political with everything, then they can stay on the front of that. But considering Elon in general and how politically biased and outspoken he is, I think there's risks too. That's why I'm saying there's variance. I'm not a political guy. I think if you're selling things to consumers, you shouldn't be. But I think there's always a risk if you are, you know. And so that's the big thing. I think there's variance because of that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of variables. And so we haven't done any plugs today, so I think I'm going to do my first plug now. If you haven't already, check out TopStep. Honestly, we're getting really close to this is gold. We're getting really close to getting funded in another account today. We're going to make that push towards it pretty soon. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, some currencies, gold, silver, precious metals, commodities, and there's no PDT rule. That's the big edge. You want to know why most pro day traders trade futures? Because there's no PDT rule, and you can day trade short. If you trade the NASDAQ, which is an index fund made of stocks, the patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks when you're day trading. And so you can day trade with no PDT rule, get around it. And these funded account programs like TopStep are allowed where they give you a demo, test your skill with the demo first, and your risk is limited. So the base one, your risk is $49. If you pass the test, you get $50K in funding with a 90% split, and they pay out millions. They paid out over $100 million to their traders. They fund thousands of traders. A great way to learn how to day trade because it's a perfect middle ground. If you lose, you're out $49. If you pass it, it's a 90% split once you're funded anyway, which is similar to funding yourself. The risk is just way less generally. You could always lose money doing whatever, and they are an affiliate of mine, so I'm definitely biased for sure. But I genuinely think it's the way most people should learn day trading versus funding an account yourself. If you fund an account yourself, I mean, any real day trader will tell you this, you're probably going to lose. You're probably going to lose all of it. And so if you put in 5K, your 5K is probably about to go away. Bars, you know. But if you try a funded account program, your risk is $49. It's not the end of the world. And so again, I genuinely think that's the best option. Most day traders lose. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders lose, and so limit your risk to $49. And if you want to try to do that, you can try Top Step out. Top Step X has the biggest edge in funding over anybody else because there's literally no commissions. So the only fees there's $3. There's a tiny amount of fees. In the NASDAQ, it's only $2.80 per E-mini contract. If I'm trading micros, it's 74 cents per micro contract. A tiny amount of fees, zero commissions. It's the biggest edge in funding right now. And again, if you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. Again, I'm biased. Thoughts on Boeing? Doesn't Boeing have earnings pretty soon? Yeah, you know what that means, Vote. You're just trying to get me to talk politics. Yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of Boeing. I don't know. I see a lot of pilots talk about Airbus as well. But I think, what's Airbus? What's their symbol? Okay, they don't really have the only one they have is OTC, which is weird. Like, why is Airbus OTC in the first place? If you want to see a stock chart, look at Airbus's stock chart. Their symbol is EADSF. Look at Airbus. Like, look at the long-term stock chart of Airbus here. Like, they have done great. In 2009, they were at 11.95. Today, they're at 150s. See if I can put a weekly chart up here. Yeah. Like, look at this chart. Look at the long-term chart of Airbus, and which is Boeing's biggest competitor. And so Boeing is interesting, but I think it's had a lot of bad catalysts over the last few years, and I think it's risky. You know, I invested in Airbus, or not Airbus, I invested in Boeing after a big dip not that long ago, but I ended up selling it and losing money on it just because it had more bad news come out week after week, and it just didn't, you know, I just think it's risky. But it's high risk, high reward, I'd also say with it. Like, your risk is big, your reward is big. Yeah. Yeah, Boeing is just risky, man. It really is. It's just risky. That's the problem. Yeah, Coinbase has earnings this week as well. I think Coinbase is Thursday. Coinbase up to 212s. Again, it's a crazy earnings week. It really is, guys. So we're going to be streaming every day now. Every day this week, obviously. Well, we stream every day anyway, but we're most days this week we're streaming multiple days. And so Monday is slow, as Mondays generally are. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're all going to be streaming evening streams. Tuesday, again, we have SoFi, PayPal, McDonald's, Pfizer, BP in the morning. We also have economic data in the JOLTS report, which is a very relevant report for tomorrow. Again, tomorrow evening, AMD, Google, Snapchat. Wednesday morning, we've got even more stuff dropping. Let me do a poll here. I don't think I've done a poll. Are you bullish or bearish this week with all the big stuff going on? Vote on the poll. There's the poll live right now. Vote on it. Uranium stocks. Yeah, I've heard some stuff about them. All right, so I'm asking AI to list some of these uranium stocks. All right, so if I pull this up here, we use the top chart. So we have CCJ is one of them. I'm gonna put a long-term chart up here. Here's a weekly chart. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these have been moving up. Look at this. So here's Cameco, a leading uranium producer based in Canada but traded on the New York Stock Exchange. We also have UEC, a US-based mining and exploration company. They've had some strong moves recently, you know, so like look at the last few months here in 2024. We also have UUUU. Less impressive, but most of these are up over the last few months. Big pullback in the last week, though. We have DNN, Canadian Uranium Exploration Company. Again, most of these I'm looking at have been up since September. So since September, they've had very green action. We've got NextGen NXE. Again, same kind of chart. A lot of these move with each other. Is there I guess there's not a futures contract for it. URG, same thing. Some of these are down more than they're up. So interesting. We'll see what happens. I'm going to start to short this now. We've pushed up so much, we're heading into some resistance here. We've built up a good cushion in the morning as well already. So we're going to maybe add some contracts to this too. See if we can just start to break down. We've got 2 contracts here. So we started to push up and we were flat, and now we're red. Luckily, we have a cushion already on the day from this. So if we lose here, we're about flat on the day. We're already up 1,500 in this one. We want to see if we're going to turn around. I'm going to take half off here just to protect the trade. It's pushing up a little bit too quickly. Yeah, so I got a weekly chart up on Tesla. Let me pull this up, put a 1-minute chart back up. There's NVIDIA. Yeah, NASDAQ's pushing up a lot. I guess I should probably stick with my bullish bias on the NASDAQ today. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this. So we ended up losing a couple $100. Not really what we wanted, but it's alright. Just big, strong action, honestly. I think eventually it's gonna turn, but who freaking knows when. I want to see if Top Step did this thing. I used to be able to trade 2 different ones at once. They might have fixed it. Let's see. So we actually caught a lot of this breakdown here in one of our accounts, but different account. Alright, so we got a couple $100 in. I can show you guys the one when we're in. Let's see which one. I think it was this one. Yeah. So you can kind of see the last string of trades here. I don't know if I want to add some more to this though. I'm going to short this again. Not really the best fill. There we go. Got a nice little flush. Yeah, so I saw that, Matt, about the ARCA. I hope they don't, dude. That would be horrible, to be honest. Like, imagine there's no consolidated volume at the opening bell. It would take away what makes the stock market the stock market. It'd make it harder to watch trades. Now, imagine you take a stock position and you can get stopped out, not just during market hours, but 24/7. You never freaking sleep. It's a horrible idea. You know, like what happened is Robinhood did it, and now they want to compete with Robinhood, and so they're trying to push for it, but it just seems like a terrible idea. We added to this, so we can maybe take some off if it breaks down some more, which is what we want. We're about flat now. I want to see if it'll break down some. I regret adding double size to this. I should have just stuck with it. I'm going to take my half off there and just protect the trade and get out just in case. We actually somehow made money on that exit, but... yeah, I just think it's a horrible idea. I don't think they should ever do it that way. I don't think it's meant to do it that way. Like, I think it'll take away what makes the stock market unique. Like, if I want to trade 24 hours, I'll just trade freaking futures. You know, like, I don't want to trade the stock market 24 hours. I'd never sleep. The S&P and the NASDAQ, like the SPY and Q are already open 24/7 on the S&P. So, but imagine Apple's open 24/7. It's just crazy. It's unnecessary. We're slightly green. We can break down some more. If we start to retrace back up, I'm going to cut this. I'd like to see us break down, but I'm not going to let it sit too long. I got my hand over the button. Yeah, I'm out. I think it might still break down, but it's all right. We're flat on that trade. Is my volume very low, dude? I keep having different people complain about my volume. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like that was the right decision to get out. I mean, let me know if my volume is good. I don't know. I heard someone got banned during. Yeah, I mean, again, what I said was that it looks like getting out there was the right move. You love to see it. But no, what I said was that people are so emotional about politics, right? Like they get so emotional about politics, they overestimate weakness. They always push, you know. And here's something that happens a lot. I'll say, hey guys, the economy's really not that weak right now, right? This is an objectively true statement. It's not really super opinion based, right? Because the economics, we're looking at GDP, we're looking at payrolls, we're looking at unemployment. All of those things are above average in terms of economic health. Payroll numbers, unemployment numbers, GDP data is at 3%. And we'll see later this week, we got GDP data. So as of now, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree or want or don't want these things. As of now, the economy is in a pretty good spot. Where people are really unhappy is inflation. Inflation has gone up so much in 5 years, rendering a lot of people into a struggle because inflation's gone up too much. That's the truth of markets. The economy's doing okay, but inflation has rendered a lot of people unhappy because of it, right? This is just an objectively true statement from somebody that covers every economic report. But there's so much political stuff going out right now that me saying that ruffles feathers, which is just kind of out there. I'm not saying things are good. You know, people hear me say, oh, economy's good. I'm not saying everything's good. I'm not saying people are happy about it. But the economy, if you focus on that specifically, is not in a terrible spot. It's just not. You know, payroll numbers are high, unemployment's under 4.5%, GDP data is 3%. It's just objectively true. And again, I'm not saying things are good. If things were really bad, the Fed would be cutting rates much more aggressively than they have been. And so I think if we're going to do like stimulating measures like QE, we got to wait. We got to wait for the economy to show weaker signs. Because as of right now, the data's been good. Whether you agree with that data, whether you believe that data, completely different thing. But either way, it's an election year. It's an election week. You know, week or two. People are emotional. It's all right. Anyways, we'll see if we break down a little bit. We tried to push up. I like this sideways action. As we get closer to the bell, we're gonna be closer to right. But affordability is the opposite of that, Billy. So I guess my point is, like, when people say the economy is bad, they mean affordability is bad, but they have it backwards. So when the economy is good, affordability is bad. You know, when the economy is weak, affordability is high. Why? Because everything's cheap because it's weak. You know, prices are down because it's weak. You know, so when the economy thrives, inflation goes up, not down. You know, so that's why I've also been against rate cuts, because the more we cut rates, the worse inflation potentially gets. And so it's kind of like this really interesting thing where if I say the economy is strong, I'm meaning like economic data. I mean GDP. I mean unemployment. I mean payrolls. You know, but me just saying that ruffles feathers. And like, it's an election year. I'm just ready for it to end. I'm ready to get it over with and move on and not have to argue with people about how, you know, unemployment under 4.5% and payroll numbers at 245,000 and GDP at 3% isn't weak, you know. But I digress. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun week for sure. Yeah, I might have been right about the short. It's all right. And I might buy this. I'm gonna buy this. Change directions because I think we do have a little bit of a trend, but we're gonna trade heavier as we get closer to the open, not before. I'm probably gonna have to sell this pretty soon. Should have stayed in my short. You don't love to see it, you know. I'm gonna sell half of this just to protect the trade, and now we're flat, which is good. Now we're green. Somehow we made money on that trade. I don't know how. Bad management on my part for sure. We're gonna buy into this now too. On a dip, I wanted to add more, but that's all right. There we go. Problem is Nvidia is starting to push up, so I'm being a little bit more tight with my trades. I cut that piece very quickly there. I see Nvidia. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia dips fast, so I'm not trying to hold very long. All right, just made another about $100 or so. So we somehow ended green throughout all this management of trades. The trend I'm looking at right now, the one that originally I was short here. The reason I decided to buy it was because of this. Let me fix that. I'm gonna have to redo this trend line a couple times, I'm sure. But like, look, this is the trend line I'm trying to attack right here, guys. Just so y'all can see the short-term trend. That's the trend I'm attacking here. That's why I bought it where I did, and that's really why we got this big bounce up, is this trend specifically right here. And I think it's a very obvious trend too. Well, I think the biggest implications are tax implications. You know, Detra. I think tax implications. People fear different things. Like, yeah. If it's too choppy, I have to stay out of trading. I've learned. Would you ever create a video on stock marketing books to read? No. I mean, there's not enough information there. Like there's a lot of good books, but you don't really learn trading. You can learn investing through books, and investing is something that you can learn a lot through book reading. But most of the time, you want to learn through other means. Like, you don't really like. There's some good books like Market Wizards is good if you want to learn like the psychology of trading, and you know, Trading in the Zone is probably the biggest book you want to learn. It's called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That's the biggest book you want to. That'll help you, I think. Trading in the Zone. Rest in peace to Mark Douglas. He was super ahead of his time. There's also some other good stuff, like there's Trading in the Zone. There's like Market Wizards is pretty good. Most of these books just tell stories though. So they just tell stories about like experiences in the stock market. If you want to learn, there's a lot of nuance behind it. If you want to learn like the nuances behind trading, I don't think book's the correct form. If you want to learn investing's a little bit more writable in terms of knowledge. Trading, not so much. Trading's super difficult and super complicated and super, again, nuanced is probably the best word. And maybe I use that word too much, but I think trading's much more nuanced. Like, you can write a recipe for how to invest, right? Like, writing a recipe for how to trade correctly is, you could do it, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to express. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm green on this year. I'm not going to talk about too much. Again, guys, y'all are missing the point of my channel. My channel is just a resource. We're mostly an economics channel. So, you know, we cover economic data mostly. So like this week we'll cover the JOLTS report, we'll cover personal consumption expenditure, we'll cover GDP data, we'll cover jobless claims, we'll cover unemployment, non-farm payroll data. That's really where my niche is on this channel. I don't sell a course. I don't even claim to be a good trader. This is my disclaimer right here. I am terrible and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Content is entertainment only. My experience, wins or losses may be conducted in real time or on stream. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm green on the year, at least in Thinkorswim. But I'll have to check. Yeah, I mean, residential, check their website, brother, you know. Yeah, investing single biggest edge the market ever gives you, you know, which is why people betting against the markets long time and getting biased about politics and thinking the market's always about to crash are usually, a lot of the time they're so bitter because they've missed out on some of the biggest gains. Like, again, S&P did 24% last year. 24%. Crazy returns. This year it's up 20% already. It'd be really difficult for me not to make money this year, especially on TOS. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, residential trading on Top Step X is trading on Top Step is just a challenge. It's to test your skill. It's to build your skill in trading. You gotta have reasonable expectations for it. It's to build your skill. Like what this is, it builds your skill in trading. It teaches you how to trade under pressure. You know, you can take this, fund your own account, and then day trade your heart till your heart's content. But most day traders lose. Most people that try this are gonna lose. Most day traders in general lose. And so you can risk thousands of your own money and probably lose it, or you could try this, teaches you how to trade, build your skill, you get free market data, on top of it while you have these accounts, which is going to cost about the same as the old of the account to begin with. Like if you buy market data, what is it, like $50 a month? That's basically what this is, and so the value's there for sure. You know. All right, guys. Okay. So we're still in this trend right here. So look, we're still in this trend. I'm right here. Sorry, my family just came in the room. We're coming. We'll be here. All right, guys. So we are going to be. Well, of course they're making money, residential. I mean, that's not a unreasonable expectation. Like they're a business, as is most things. But again, they provide a service, and I think it's valuable. I think when you look at it, okay, you can either lose money funding your own account, testing your skill that way, funding your own account. You could try a regular paper account and have no pressure, which trading is about learning how to trade under pressure. Or you could try something like this, and if you lose, you're out $50. You know, it's a great test of skill in that way. It teaches you how to trade under pressure. If you pass it, you have more conditions, or you have more risk and potential reward. And so it teaches you how to trade under pressure. And again, if you're a real day trader, you know most day traders are going to lose. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, who your mentor is, most day traders are going to lose. And so the value's certainly there. Again, if you were going to pay for real-time data independently, it's going to cost about the same. And so, you know, we can argue that there's not value, but obviously there is. And again, if you want to check it out, they're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. They pay me money. You know, so I'm biased. If you want to check them out, here's the link. They have 0 commissions on TopStepX as well. Yeah, we got the Fed rate decisions. We have the election. We have every major earnings report outside of NVIDIA. In the next couple weeks, we have Apple, AMC, Amazon, Google, Snapchat, AMD. Yeah, just every major earnings report. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're an affiliate of mine. I think they're a great company, and I think it's going to protect traders is what it does. I think most day traders, I know when I got started, I tried day trading. I lost thousands. Right? This is not an uncommon tale. This happens to most people. And again, I thought I was going to be some prodigy, mostly due to marketing out there. But if I would have had something like this, I would have saved money because I'd still probably lose. But I'd lose $50 as opposed to funding a $4,000 account as a brand new trader with no risk management skills. And I think that's the benefit. And it's very obvious. I think it's a very self-evident benefit, which is it protects you in that way. Anyways, we're still in this trend. Let's see if we continue. Yeah, today's the only boring day of markets this week. Every other day is packed full of people. And we'll have thousands of people here every day this week. Today's the only boring day. So we're going to get the opening done. Yeah, it really is the Super Bowl this year for investors. It really is a very, very strange year. Like, it really is a year, or a week. It's arguably the busiest week. It's arguably the busiest week for traders and investors this year. the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry, the next 2 weeks is arguably the busiest week. Okay, this week we have every major earnings report except for Nvidia. We have Apple, Amazon, Google, AMD, Microsoft, Meta, and Coinbase, and more. SoFi tomorrow. We have and more. We also have, if we want to just roll through the economic, but if you want to roll through the economic reports, we got consumer confidence, JOLTS report tomorrow, the Case-Shiller, ADP non-farm employment, prelim payroll data, GDP data, pending home sales, core PCE data on Thursday, jobless claims on Thursday, Chicago PMI. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment, ISM manufacturing data, and this all is the same week. Usually these are spread apart, so usually we get PCE and GDP one week, we get non-farm payrolls and unemployment another week. For whatever reason, it's all consolidated to this week specifically, chat. So just understand the volatility that we might get this week. Could be high, and just be careful this week. Hey, nice D. Great minds think alike, bro, I guess. Yeah, I'm excited for this week. It really should be fun. Again, today's the only boring day. Every other day is pretty packed. All right, so we got a little break in this trend line that we drew on the NASDAQ here. I think we might break down the bottom. But I'm trying to get closer to the open to day trade. I see Nvidia falling. Problem is Tesla's been kind of flat. We do have a descending trend line. It looks like a bull flag, but it's also a little bit too sideways for me. So it might be a bull flag on like a 5-minute chart. If I pull up Tesla here, like look. Here's the flag. Here's the pole. And then the flag. Maybe that's like a badly drawn on here. Look. There's the flag on Tesla. If you want to know why they call it a flag, that's why. But it's gone sideways a little bit too long. Okay, this guy's just trying to talk negatively. This guy's just trying to talk negatively. Come on, man. Good day to you, sir. Do you prefer trading futures, NASDAQ, or ES? I like the NASDAQ better. Yeah, he like, look, this was his goal, was just to try to talk negatively about it. In the end, again, so if the service they offer is equivalent to how much the data that they're giving away for free would cost, what are people complaining about? Like, honestly, he might have gotten banned earlier, and now he's kind of mad about it, and so he's trying to just be negative. It's all good. Hey, buddy. Hey, man, I'm proud of you. You did great at jiu-jitsu yesterday, buddy. You really did. Jack was sweeping these kids left and right, just doing great. Nice job. You gonna leave me hanging, bro? Come on, man. Dude, no. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yeah, can't leave me hanging. Hey, later, Sam. Have a good day. Everything else, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, it's a test of your skill. You got to look at it like a really good demo account. Is the way you have to look at it, because that's what it is. It's a demo account with some extra cool stuff added to build your skill as a trader, right? Like, that's what it is, and that's a powerful thing. You know, it's a powerful thing. All right, guys. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, thank you. All right. Yeah, so can y'all hear me? Yeah, good. Birdie today, traders. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just ready to get today over with so we can actually have a busy day. I'm going to be working all week, so I'm going to try to enjoy my time. All right, I'm going to start shorting this. We're shorting the bounce up. We got a big rebound in almost everything, though, so I got to be careful. I took half of mine off here just to protect the trade. We had 2 contracts, but I feel like I'm going to be a lot more loose with just one. And so we basically got out flat there. That way we're not going to take a big loss if it does bounce up. Yeah, I mean, the S&P did 24% last year. The NASDAQ, the benefit of the S&P is not the gains. Like, it'll give you gains of the stock market. Like, it'll give you stock gains. But it's not as weighted to the Mag 7. And so it's a little bit more diversified, and that's the benefit of the S&P. It's not super diversified. It's not like the Dow, where it's got a lot of other stuff in there. But there's benefits of the S&P over the NASDAQ, too. It's all preference-based. But yeah, like the S&P, a little bit more diversified outside of tech. The NASDAQ's a little bit more tech-heavy in that regard. So, like, there's pros and cons. All right, we got, how long? We got 15 minutes until the opening bell chat. Looks like me getting out of at least one of those contracts was the right move. I'm going to add one more contract to this, see if we get a quick little rejection, and then I'm going to cut it fast if it doesn't work. Oof. Yeah. Hopefully we do better at the open. We've kept it pretty small, though. Like, if we get out here on a loss, it's going to be about break even on the day. Yeah, we're going to have to get out. So we're about break even on the day now. We've gone up some. We've gone down some. We might hit this resistance level and actually do something here. But we'll have to wait. What's financial advice? I don't even know what financial advice is, bro. I don't even know what that is. What is financial advice, dude? Yeah, what is financial advice, bro? Alright, so maybe our short would have worked, but I think I'm probably going to be as patient as I can leading into the opening bell. So I think that would have worked. I think my whole strategy would have worked too. Look at that. Look at how choppy Nvidia has been. Tesla is still up to 270. What's the high? What's the high of the year for Tesla? Let me see. All right, there's Nvidia. We know where Nvidia's at. For Tesla though, what's the high of the year? 2024 opened up here. Yeah, so 2024 opened up at about 245. So the high of the year is really right where we're at now for Tesla. It's literally exactly where we're at now at 271s. So if Tesla opens up here, it's breaking the high of the year. Nvidia has got a little bit more ways to go, but Tesla's close to the high of the year. So Daniel, are you saying you scammed people? It's hard to tell sarcasm versus truth. Are you really saying you scammed that much from people, Daniel? Yeah, Daniel-san. Hello? It's like clockwork, bro. You know, I'm gonna start doing over and unders on whether Carol calls. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, I have a friend of mine. Um, and this is like my wife's telling me this story about how a friend of mine, or a friend of ours, like a family friend. Look, I'm not saying they're not my friends, but like one of my wife's friends' husbands lost over $100,000 to like a financial scam. And the way they said they lost the money was they said that some person, like, I got a question. Let me think of the nice way to put it. I got to question their deep thought and skills, their deep thinking skills on whether you fall for this. Like, basically, they got scammed for over $100,000. And the way it happened was that they had an account manager, I guess, contact them. And so they sent the account manager money. And then the account manager was like, hey, if you've made all this money, you've made 50 grand, you've made 150 grand, right? But you got to pay taxes on it. You know, you got to pay taxes on it. Walmart gift cards. No, I don't know if they did Walmart gift cards, but they're like, yo, you got to pay taxes on it. Send us another 50 grand and we'll send you the 150. And so then they did, right? And they just kept doing this over and over again. And that's how these scammers get you, is like they'll use a really pretty girl. They'll put the picture up. They'll be like, hello, I'm Jennifer, the account manager. You know, we work for so-and-so investments. You know, if you send us 10K, we'll earn you hundreds of percent. Like, the problem comes down to financial literacy, right? The reality of this, guys, if anybody's promising you over 40% a year, if anybody's promising you 30% or more a year, I would say even less. I've said if anybody's promising you 20% or more a year, with zero risk, they're scamming you. You know, but the problem is people don't have that financial literacy, and there's so much marketing out there that they think that it's possible to earn hundreds of percent a year. You're never going to do that. Like, never reliably or consistently or risk-free. You're never, ever, ever going to earn that money like that. And so if somebody's promising you that, they're just trying to scam you. And so never send some random person promising you returns money. Always make sure it's a legitimate business, a legitimate, like, investment firm. You know, look, you can look this stuff up to see if they're registered. But the problem is, this dude just kind of sent him money, and then he was so desperate he panicked, right? But he's young. He's like my age. And so I told my wife, I don't know if he's just saying that and he spent the money elsewhere and doing some other stuff or what. But yeah. The whole thing sounds strange to me. Like, losing 100K, that's a lot, right? I'm not about to send anybody 100K, especially somebody that I haven't vetted super well. Well, no, what they'll do, the reason I say the pretty girl, Nathan, is because one of the ones I've seen is that they'll use a pretty girl, and the pretty girl will, like, flirt with them. It's probably some dude named Steve, really. But, like, the pretty girl will flirt with them and be like, hey, what's up? You know, you're cute. What's up, man? You know? And the guy's so flattered, he's like, oh, look, this girl likes me, you know? And she's the account manager at this firm. And, like, that clouds their judgment even more. You know, like, even more. In the end, though, like, I still got to question their decision-making. Because that seems like a horrible... Like, you either got to be... I don't know. I don't know what angle they got hit with. But sending some random people tens of thousands of dollars just seems dumb. Like, it's not... I'm never going to be caught doing that. But I guess I probably have a little bit more knowledge on it than most people. Yeah, I don't know what that is. What does that mean? You scam the money from who? My pro stock strategy, I buy every time a pretty girl messages me. Honestly, it might be a good strategy. Oh, yeah. Wow, dude, it's not about that. It's more so like people just get taken, man. Confirmation bias is what gets people. Like I say that word a lot, and you might not understand what it means, but confirmation bias means like you're more likely to believe something you want to happen. Like you want to confirm your bias, which is why it's called confirmation bias. Like if I have a bias that, hey, I'm gonna win the lottery every day, I might want to confirm that and believe that more, right? Like confirmation bias. But yeah, it's all good. Hey, market's about to open. NASDAQ did break down. My short would have worked out here. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. Don't really yell at me about it. I was right, absolutely right about this. It would have broken down. I would have made money on it, but that's okay. My short would have worked. We got 2.5 minutes, chat. 2.5 minutes. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'm going to put the sub-only mode. We've got some trolls today, some haters. I'm going to put it in sub-only mode, try to get rid of them. All right, guys, markets open. It's about to happen. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Palantir's very, very strong. They have earnings next week. Or not next week, the week after that. But I like Palantir. I've been in it for most of the year this year. Sold it not too long ago. I'll probably buy back in it. But yeah. Let me see what our poll says. 76% are bullish this week. Are y'all really bullish? I guess I'm bullish as well, to be completely real. Why am I bullish? It's an election year. I think they're going to try to pull the market up in anticipation of it. And so, that's my guess. But who knows? Yeah, I like Palantir. Yeah. I would buy it right here, to be honest, but we got a minute left until the open. I think we could rip at the open 2-pawn. I really do. I think we've dropped enough. I got to start trading these trend break strategies more, man. We're basically flat on the day leading into it. Here's the opening bell, guys. We're about to hit it now. 40 seconds. Palantir runs to 50 soon. Well, its earnings, I believe, are next week. Not this week, but next week. I think it's Palantir earnings. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so here's the opening bell. All right, let's see what the market does. Here's Tesla. All right, so we got drops. I might be wildly wrong. Do not copy me, because remember, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Not an investment professional. My channel's called Beginner Trading. Top 3 worst trader of all time ever in the world. Don't copy me. But we have had drops at the open. John was wildly wrong this morning. Wildly wrong. Top 3 worst ever predictors in the world. And yeah, market's going down. Chat. Look at this drop. Honestly, I'm going to buy this dip. It's kind of a risky position, but I think it's a big reward too. Yeah, I gotta cut that. So we ended up losing again, but that's all right. We would have lost more. Such a big drop at the opening bell, chat. What a big, massive drop. Wow. So what a rebound. We did eventually get the drop, but all right, so we did push up a little bit here. We'll see if we get some bounce backs. I'm kind of trying to wait until the market does anything better. Here, let's see. We've had some push-ups. Big rips. All right, guys, so we got this account. We got one account right where we want it. So we got this account $80 away from our profit target. So I did a little bit of trading off stream because, to be frank, we kind of needed to. And so we got this account, again, literally very close. Very close here. I'm going to watch my account balance from this one. We are $60 away from getting funded in this account, 60 bucks. All right, so we're going to buy down here. We're $60 away, so we're going to trade micro contracts to try to finish it off. Try to get our last little win in here. Oof, bad turnaround. Yeah, I think we got to cut this. That's all right. Now we are about $130 away. Again, I'm going to buy this down here, though. 4 contracts. We're trading a little bit larger. 4. We get a good string of trades here, and we'll get it. There we go. 90 bucks away. We might just add back if we start to dip here. Yep. 3, 4, 5. We're in 5. So this is our one of our big swings. Consolidating here. There we go. We are 50 bucks away, chat. 50 bucks. Yep. Don't do it to me. Very close. $20 away. I gotta cut that here. I think it's gonna break. All right, so yeah, we're 50 bucks away now. Very small gains. We're trying to get funded. If we hit this, we'll get funded. Not a good fill, and that's all right. $20. Here, we're gonna take 2 contracts here. This might be it if we can get one big good pop. $20 away again. We just need one more good pop. All right, so we are $18 away. We need one more good trade. worst fill ever right here. That's all right. I'm gonna add to this. One good pop up there. Take 3 contracts. Come on. Oh my gosh, we're $1 away, chat. $1. Okay, we did it. Woo! All right. All right, so that's 1 account funded today. That's 1. I'd like 3. We positioned 2 different accounts. We positioned 3 accounts with $1,500 in profit. We're trying to get funded in 2 days. So we got 3 accounts. That's 1. We got 1. I got to remember the name of this account. I don't want to accidentally trade it. All right, let me see what order this one is. Okay, so this is the last one. Bear with me. Hold on. I got to look at something. Whew. All right, so we got 1. Right, and the one we got is... Okay. Okay. Alright, so we got number 2 coming. Alright, so that's 1. Yep. Alright, so here is account 2. We're gonna switch to the NASDAQ here. We'll see if we get at least 2 out of 3 of these funded. Alright, sorry, my dogs are yelling and barking. Yeah, I needed like $1, bro. I needed like a freaking $1 right there. Alright, so let's try to build up a cushion here. We played with these. This is a little risky trade right here. Yep, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. We just made 150 bucks. Sorry, forgive me for my dogs barking. Yeah, so people are asking me about my mic. Is something wrong with my mic, bro? People have been, I'm gonna have to like listen to it all day. Let's see what it sounds like. All right. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, my dog's yelling. All right, we're gonna short back down, see if we can catch the bottom of this range. Here's what we're looking for. All right, we're out. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right. See, I was trying to catch this range. Honestly, my dogs are distracting me, so I'm sorry. If you want to try Top Step with me, this is Top Step's funded account program. It's the single biggest edge in funding. They give you a demo, test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, is 49 bucks for the base one. That's the one you see me trading on. So I just got funded on a 50K funded account. No PDT rule and features. You could day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the QQQ and the SPY price action. No PDT rule. You can trade gold, silver, commodities. If you try to pay for real-time data, it's going to cost very similar to 49 bucks a month, right? But on Top Step, you get not only real-time data, you get a demo account. If you pass their challenge, you get a funded account, 50K, 90% split. They've paid out over 100 million to their traders. If you want to check them out, again, no commissions. Tiny amount of fees and no commissions. It's one of the biggest. It's one of the reasons, like, you can kind of see the benefit of no commissions because I can get up to where I'm like 50, 100 bucks away from my profit target, scale down to micro contracts, and then take these very quick short-term trades to get me into that profit. It's the biggest edge in funding. But if you want to check it out, they're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. Understand CFTC 4.41. Remember, I am terrible at this stuff and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Understand this rule. Chat, if you want to check them out, here's the link. All right, so this is number 2. Okay, so this is number 2. See if we can get it. I don't know which way to go here. At one level, we're at a triple support level, like multiple support levels. At the other, we are like bear flagging some. And if we break that low, it's kind of a, you know, I think usually it's going to bounce at least a little bit right here. But the time it breaks, it's really going to break is the problem. All right, there's the bounce. Yep, there's the bounce. It's right at the lows though, so traders are jumping in short for sure here. Also, Nvidia is starting to flush. Where's Tesla? All right, there's the low of the day crack. I'm gonna buy this. I know it's super risky, but I think some of the time it's gonna bounce here. I think Nvidia is gonna slow down. It's kind of like a short trap. But when I'm wrong, I'm really wrong is the problem. All right, we're flat again. There we go. All right, so we just made about 350 there. Like I said, most of the time it's going to bounce right there. This is the biggest misconception new traders have. Single biggest misconception is that people see this low break here and they jump in short right here. And it's just a fake out a large majority of the time. They see this low break and they're like, oh, it's weak, let me short it, right? Then they just get bounced on, you know. But again, it's like I said, most of the time it's going to bounce once it does that. 1 out of 4, maybe 1 out of 3 times, in my opinion, we're going to get a huge dump, right? And that's what kind of tricks people because it's much more impactful. It's much more memorable. And so when they see it dump, they're like, oh, that's a good short, right? But most of the time, it's not going to do that. And so most of the time, it's going to do exactly what it did, which is break the low and then immediately rebound into everybody's face. And so that's the biggest thing people get wrong, I would say. And so you got to understand that kind of specific nuance. You know, like I was looking at the guy that I banned earlier, the first one, and what I noticed is that he had a very specific strategy he was preaching, right? And this was a strategy that somebody else that had previously been banned would just never be quiet about. They'd always talk about this strategy. And you could kind of tell, like, he's just getting a little emotional. But people that have gotten, like, so basically this dude is just creating, like, why watch the stream? If you're just going to create account after account, get banned. Like, if you dislike the channel, why are you watching it, bro? If you're getting banned, dude, why even stick around? Like, you know, and then, but to act like he's some new person that doesn't like me, like, just weird, dude. Just freaking strange, man. Anyways, we'll see if we actually break down here. Okay. Yeah, Daniel, so again, man, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. I don't know if you're trolling or what. It's obviously not financial advice, Daniel. Then you're saying, talking about scamming people. I'm going to put you in timeout. That kind of talk has to stop, I think. You know, I'm not going to ban you, but chill out, you know. All right, so we're testing these levels now. Yeah, go sit in the corner and think about what you've done, okay? Whew, all right. All right, we got account number 2 today, Chad. Account number 2. I think we're gonna get a bounce here. I might be wrong, don't copy me. We'll try it. We'll try to play it. And we just made some more. Alright, so we're only $1,000 in this account away too. Nvidia seems to be keep bouncing though. And I think everybody thinks this is going to go break lows. And so that's kind of what we're buying into. Is the squeeze of the shorts right here. But again, it could always break and just dump and punish us too. Alright, we took some more off. Oof. I'm going to add to this, but it's a risky add because it could just destroy us. It's not going to. It's going to bounce up. We're going to put that onto the universe here. Alright, I'm going to cover half of this just to get out because I was... Now somehow we're green on the trade if we can manage the rest of this correctly. Alright, so we got out flat there. Somehow flat. I'm not really being the most patient here, which I think I probably should be. The problem, I see Tesla coming down, I see Nvidia coming down with us. And so I think if we do break lows, there's risks. Yeah, I'm sure the trolls are going to get worse and worse leading up to the election, and then it's just going to go away afterwards, hopefully. Alright, we're going to buy the bottom of this range again. We'll add some to it too. Kind of a risky trade, in all things considered. Because, yeah, there we go. We eventually got caught in the break. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, where we retraced so much that I was able to get out with no loss there, but... I don't like that at all. I'm going to get out a couple $100 loss, and we're okay. Looks like it was the right move. Yeah, there's the breakdown. Nvidia's got a ways to go, though. Alright, we're going to try to take some size now in this. And we got to be okay with losing it even still. Like, we got funded on one. If we're right about the next couple trades, we might be able to get funded on the next. Alright, we locked in about $100 in profit. That gives us a nice little cushion here. We're going to add to this. Alright, we just locked in that. And we might add right back to this too. If it drops. If not, we'll just ride the profit up. Alright, we're going to add to it. Like I said, there's 2, 3, 4. Hopefully we'll get lucky here, but it's risky. I'll take 5. Don't be unlucky. No. Yeah, we got unlucky. It's alright. I'll give it a second, but chances are against us now, I think. Luckily, we had a couple $1,000s in profit, so we're still actually green in this account, and so I can let it work here, but odds are against us, of course, now. It's a little bit better. The problem is Nvidia is getting closer to lows, too. Yeah, Supermicro has earnings. I don't know if it's next week or this week. Again, we're already a couple $1,000s in profit in this account. We should have taken smaller trades and been slow and steady with it, is my mistake on this one. But we already got funded in one account today. We set 3 of them up, so we're going to try to get funded in hopefully 2 out of 3. But, we got to get some rebounds in markets, which I don't know if we're going to get it. Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. Like I said, we got one out of. We're 1 for 1 today. We got 1 for 1. And then this is the final one, I think. So we will see what we get in this one today. Take one contract on the downside. Alright, so we're going for our third one. Right, we got 3 contracts here. Gotta make sure we don't have any economic data coming out. Sorry, my dogs won't stop barking. We got people over here, contractors, working right now, so that's what's going on. Super Micro, the problem is the float. It's so small. Like, it's such a small float for Super Micro that there's risks, and it's been incredibly volatile over the past couple months, really the last year. Alright, so we took one off of there in profit, so we still got 2 more contracts left here. Looks like taking one off was the right move. It just keeps trying to break lows, but retraces back up. It just doesn't go anywhere when it does, though. It's like the third like hammer style candle here. It just hasn't gone back up some. And the problem that I see in this, I'm going to go ahead and take a piece off, is Nvidia's right around the lows, which I don't like. Now, I'm hoping Nvidia finds a bottom, but who freaking knows what it's going to do. Amazon's starting to look weak too. Alright, so there we go, we're back up. I'm gonna add to this. Alright, we just took another piece off, locked in some. Alright, so we ended up making about $200 on that trade. So we're green on the last couple. Yeah, we'll see what we get now. Let me see. Yeah. I'm gonna buy this down here, take some big size, see if we get a big surge back up. Here we go. There we go. Alright. Made a couple more. Do the same kind of thing here where we buy the bottom down here. Bottom of the range, see if we get a pop back up. There we go. Alright, so there's another one. So we're about $1,000 away from profit in this one now. Alright, we're back down. We're going to buy it again. Not the best fill here, but that's okay. Let's take 2 contracts, and we're going to try to hold the rest break even, meaning if we break down too much, we'll get out. We're at the bottom of the range. It just depends on how weak the market is today. Took some more off there. Alright, so we just made another 100. Taking the short-term range scalps. Our directional bias was right so far, at least. Alright, we just made another $130 or so. We got about $900 left. Take another swing. Take another piece off. Alright, so we're now about $650 away. Or something like that. So now we're going to start taking some swings, and we're going to try to get out around $1,500 in profit, because then we can start this kind of thing over. Bad fill there, but that's all right. Terrible fills here. I'm trying to get out, like, that's all right. Kind of flat on this one. I thought I would get out better there, but it's all right. Probably a little bit too big of size here relative to the other trades I've been taking. Alright, we got out green or greenish. Yeah. It's kind of taking too long though. Alright, we're 500 bucks away. About $500. $400. See if we get a large pullback we can buy into. It's not the largest, but we'll try it. Alright, less than 400. Here's my last string of trades. Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying my sound is off. We'll work on it after the stream ends. Sorry, guys. Okay, we are now $60 away. We're going to go back to micro contracts just like we did the last time. We need 60 bucks, exactly 39 to be exact, but that's okay. About $60. I'm sorry about my dogs not shutting up. Sorry. Bad fill on these. Here, I'll mute the mic. We ended up losing somehow on these. I'm going to short into this again. Just not good fills with micros, I guess. All right, so we're flat. Choppy. Yeah, now we're 50 bucks away. We're trying to get ourselves into a deep green trade that we can add to, like this. $25 away. All right. So we're exactly $25 away now. I'm actually going to buy into this and see if we retrace back. We've been behaving kind of choppy the last couple minutes. So like if we get a choppy trend, we can retrace easily right back up. We got to get a little lucky though. Okay, we got it. So we just got funded again. That's our second account. So we hit 2 out of 3 funded accounts. So this will be 3 funded accounts that we have now. So yeah, we hit 2 out of 3. So I hope you guys can kind of see how we do this, right? So we do the same thing every time where we get close to, we make the big bulk of our trades trading the NASDAQ, regular NASDAQ. Once we do that, once we get close to that, that's when we kind of change the strategy and start attacking with micro contracts. And so I hope all that makes sense. But yeah, that'll be our second one funded today. Yeah, so again, I'll have to figure out the best setting for these mics. Anyways, hey, I love you all. You'll have a great day. If you want to try to get funded with me, I'll put the link up that I'm using for this. And again, they are an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. But yeah, not too bad. 2 out of 3 funded accounts in 2 days. It took us 2 days to get funded in both of these. So we got funded in 2 accounts in 2 days. So not bad. We'll take it. Y'all be good. I love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early. A lot of stuff. Today's the last boring day of the week. I'll see you guys later on. Y'all have a great day.